welcome back to the group chat where we have conversations from our phones
to your screen.
Yes, I'm Uchechi.
I'm Linda here. And so today we will be talking about something that is, again, a very important conversation that we've been having on our phones.
Yeah.
And so we're bringing it to the screen. And to be honest, so let me just set up this caveat, right? There's no winner.
No pressure.
There's no pressure and there's no winner. But we just really want to have a very honest conversation about 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. Yes,
Right.
it's versus. It's not like versus as in battle. So it's not like
Just-
anybody's
just
going to
looking at them
just
side
looking
by
at it
side.
side by side. Yes.
And on today's show,
Yep.
we have very beautiful ladies, very elegant ladies. We have Nancy and Irene.
Yay.
Ladies, welcome. Thank you
welcome.
for joining us on the
Thank
group
you
chat today.
for coming. Let me even start by asking. I don't want to assume. I know, but I want the people
Viewers.
watching to get a sense of what exact path you are on. Are you 9 to 5 or are you an entrepreneur?
I'm an entrepreneur, but I don't know if there's a versus in my space right now because if I get a job that I will.
You gladly jump on
So,
it.
but right now you're an entrepreneur.
Right now, yes.
How
Um,
about you, Irene?
I'm an entrepreneur.
Full-time entrepreneur.
Full-time.
Amazing.
So why did you choose that path?
So I was going to make a disclaimer that we all know each other outside of here. And I always say if we didn't have that our boss that did what he did, I probably wouldn't have thought about branching out on my own. I was fine with, the 9 to 5. I was comfortable. I had colleagues that I liked, the work was good. And then the thing happened and I thought to myself, why am I here? Like, what kind of
Are you saying that the thought about starting your business came after you left a job?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You never had it.
So I had a side thing I was doing.
So it has always been there.
No, but it wasn't something I wanted to do like full time. So it would have still been something that I could still do alongside what I was doing. But it wasn't something I focused on and said, if I'm going to leave or I give myself a timeline for like, I'm going to do this for a year and then I'll do my own thing by myself. But it just came when the whole drama was happening. I'm
Right.
like, why am I here? What's this? Like, no, this is
And
absolutely.
Irene, I know that you used to work. So what happened? Why did you leave your 9 to 5 to start your own business?
Okay, so in my situation, I did 9 to 5 because I had no choice. I had always wanted to be a business person. I've always loved buying and selling. I started doing business at the age of 15-ish. So from there, I knew that, even if I was going to get a 9 to 5 job, it's just going to be for a while.
So you needed the funds to start your own business.
Exactly.
Right.
Something like that.
And like it wasn't like Nancy's own situation where because of frustration at work you had to start.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because of us. I never liked my job.
Yeah, because I was going to ask at what Nancy pivoted at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
At what point did you pivot to say, okay, I have gotten what I want, or now is the time for me to
Okay,
grow
so
into?
it was after 9 to 5, I got married, got pregnant, and I knew I wasn't. I had twins.
You were still when you got married, were you
I was
doing 9
still
to 5?
doing 9 to 5. Yes. So I'd moved from where we know each other from to another 9 to 5.
Right.
So when I was pregnant and realized that, this was going to be twins. So me and my husband just sat down and said, we have to start a business because with twins, I can't carry my children at 3 months to go and drop at crèche. They are 2. And, so we thought about it and we're like, you know what? Let's start a business together. Let's see how far we can go. So that was when.
So it then means that it wasn't necessarily that you were ready to pivot at that time. It just so happened that because you found out you were having twins and you just checked maybe the stress and all of that, you decided to go into entrepreneurship, not because you were really ready for entrepreneurship. Because if you were gonna have a single born right at the time,
would you have been
perhaps,
able to
yeah,
manage
would
it?
you have been able to have, maybe you probably wouldn't have had any stronger reason.
I just did not like answering to somebody. I've never liked it. So even when I was doing 9 to 5, I always had problems with my line manager. Like everybody I worked with, like directly, or the line people that I was under, especially women, they never liked me. Because you send me a mail and then I'll read the mail. And then instead of me to reply the mail, I'll go and meet you and touch you and answer you. Like, I didn't like it. Like, So I've always not liked 9 to 5. Always, like, and even when I was still working 9 to 5, I still like had like a small business by the side that I was. Yes, I've always done business. Like, there was never a time I didn't do business.
Do business, okay.
Yes.
So whether it was single born, whether you were having,
Yes, I would
you
have
were
still left.
you were still going
Still
to
going to
leave.
start your own thing. Okay. And I mean, how long have you been running your own business and what has it been like?
It's been 3 years, and I think that it's just now that I feel like I'm running a business.
Why so?
I think I was still working on cloud nine, like still being grateful. Oh, I get to do this, I get to do that, until I started to hire staff, and that's when it now began because I need to pay for people's time, and we all know how the whole economy landscape is right now, and how like I'm responsible for someone's well-being right now.
What married man's responsibility? I'm telling you. Yeah.
So I feel like, I just started being a business. And yes, I don't know if that answers the question, but that's how I feel at the moment.
How about you, Irene?
6 to 7 years. 6 years plus.
Yeah. Okay.
6 years plus.
How's it been? How's the experience been? Are you just suddenly realizing something, or I mean, you're just winging it?
Okay, so the first few years, to be honest, it was just vibes and inshallah. Like, you really don't know what you're doing. You really don't know. Like she said, when you now start to expand and need people, that's when you understand that, okay, this is serious. So business make money, not make money. They go pay people. Do you get? So I think that was, just like her. That was when you now realize, okay, this is a business, and
Or was there at any point whatsoever, did something happen? You could share any experience. Something happened and you just had that thinking to say, you know what,
for this for my 9
make
to
I
5.
just they go back my 9 to 5.
For me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
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 How about you?
So for me, the first year, I actually considered going back to 9 to 5. I actually asked people around, please, is there vacancy? Help me.
Why? What was happening at that time?
Like, I was just so overwhelmed, like the
Was it
gravity
because
of
you were
what I
doing
was
everything
just-
by yourself?
No, just like when you say, "Oh, I'm starting a business," it's a great thing to think about it, but once you now start executing, I was like, can I do this? Like when you are in 9 to 5, you have like support, you have a lot of people, and then this is just you at the moment. And I'm like, can I do this?
Okay, so is
You
it
know why I'm
you
laughing? Sorry, you know why I'm laughing? That something just came to my mind. You know how Linda will say, Uchechi, you are sleeping. By then, no, you are sleeping. Is Dangote sleeping? Did you? Uchechi, I don't understand why you are sleeping do you think Dangote is sleeping? Please make up. I'm like, Linda, what is it?
You have to be on your grind.
I don't know if you guys saw this thing on Instagram. It was going on where that guy came out. I think he's in the UK. He was in his car. He was like, people, there's something I need to address. 9 to 5 entrepreneurs. That please, he spoke a lot of Yoruba. And although I didn't understand, he was so funny.
Video.
And he was like that, please, if you know that you are doing well in your 9 to 5, Ejo, because you go run mad for this entrepreneur.
Influencers now that are even putting out content of, them quitting, their influencing job and going back to
it. Yeah.
And I think that maybe because people have kind of glorified being an entrepreneur as if
Nobody
it's
really
something,
tells it the way it is.
So that was what I was going to ask. When you said you were when you started, you were overwhelmed. So I'm asking, is it operation wise, or you were doing a lot when it came to marketing and ensuring you got businesses? Because I mean, where we were coming from, right? we literally didn't have to do much in terms of sourcing for business. You know, the business comes and we do the work, right? So, but being an entrepreneur, you have to like manage operations and then also begin to source for business. So was it the both that kind of overwhelmed you, or was it just an operations bit?
So for me, it was first doubt, like, can I do this? So it wasn't necessarily I had started to get the operational part of it.
I feel
You
you.
know, so it was a doubt that kind of like got me, and I was starting to fear, like, did I really take the right
Yeah,
move? And then I started to think about, you know, what if I could just go back and then my 9 to 5 will fund this thing?
yeah.
But that's what I was just thinking, that why don't I just go 9 to 5? You know, if I get a good paying job, I then start to fund it, because I wasn't thinking about, and because the industry I work in is very niche, so I still would get, should I say clients or
Clients.
customers.
Yeah.
So the niche, being niche kind of helped me.
So you said your industry is niche, right? What industry is this? What do you do?
So I run a creative service company that will primarily service the entertainment and creative space, or the industries.
Okay.
And what I like to say, if I want to be fancy about it, is that I help creators tell believable stories. So through props. So props are very,
props,
yes, so props are
right.
very important to storytelling. And I make it very accessible for creatives to be able to, you know, tell their stories without that overwhelming budget of just going to buy and then not using it afterwards as they go, you know, done their project. So that's what I'm currently doing.
And I think that's very interesting because, if I may say this, you could have breasted this idea by virtue of where you were coming from, right? So, in this sense, it then means that perhaps having a 9 to 5 or coming from a 9 to 5 sort of helps understand an industry and then see the gaps within the industry, so that when you decide to be an entrepreneur, you can now take advantage of your understanding and filling that gap. So
Yes,
that was
because that was actually what happened.
what happened.
And
Also,
so I
awesome.
saw that when we write, we wouldn't get, you know, you get on set, what you've seen is actually not exactly in your soul. And I'm like, okay, we could do better. So, and that's how the opportunity
Right.
came.
Okay, how about you, Irene? Because I know Nancy also mentioned that, oh, in the first year she was scared. So for you, were you also scared in the first year because, can I do this? Or because, will I be able to break through? Because I know people, they are like me, that are in the same business. Will I be able to break through?
Okay, so the truth is there's always that doubt. Like the moment you branch out, there's the fear of the unknown. You know, you're coming from where at the end of the month
You have
you have salary, to where like you don't even know if you're going to make profits. You're not sure, right?
Sorry, what business are you into?
So I co-own an e-commerce company with my husband. We sell like household items and stuff. Yes. So you're not even sure if you're going to make sales. You're not sure if you're going to. You just don't know. It's a lot of gray areas.
You don't know if people
If
have
people
that
would-
need.
Exactly.
So
you don't
unlike
know.
Nancy, that's coming from an industry where she
Yeah.
saw the gap.
Or because there are lots of people doing your
Doing
kind
it.
of business.
No. So what I even wanted to ask is, so we see where Nancy came from, right?
Yeah.
What prompted you to say, oh,
This is what I want.
this
to
is
do.
what we want to do, which is the e-commerce theme, the household item stuff?
Okay, so what prompted that really was the fact that I would need some things in my house, right? And then I'll be looking for where I can get the original. It started because the business started as like a tokumbo, purely tokumbo, and then we branched out into new items and then bringing in things directly from, you know, abroad and stuff. But I was looking for where I'll get good quality for good amount of money. And then that was how it started. But then the major challenge was somebody would need couch. You don't have couch, you have fridge. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's like every time you need to keep sourcing and you need to keep stocking up things. And household is a big range. It's
And
vast.
you have that fear of you finish stocking and it's now not what
Nobody's buying.
people are asking for.
So that's just where the major challenge was. But that was at the beginning. Because right now, you know, you grow to a point where, you know, a good number of people actually, and thank God for social media.
Yeah.
Aye, if not for social media. So I feel like social media has made it easy for anybody who wants to transition. So once you figure out, oh, your advertising and everything, it's easier for you. Or
Yeah.
like those days where you open one shop in Teju Osho and there's no, it's difficult. You don't know how to get it. If somebody does not walk past your shop, you will not make sale. So yeah.
But when it comes to, social media in terms of advertising, right? But for the kind of business you do, you still have to have a physical
Yes,
store.
you have a physical warehouse.
A physical warehouse where people can come,
Yes,
see,
people can
verify,
yes,
test,
verify, test,
test
do
everything before they make a final purchase.
Exactly. Yes.
So I think in our business, and also because we're in a low trust society,
Mm.
where
Trust.
when people say what social media, what I got and versus what so
Exactly.
people want to go see exactly what
Yes,
it
a lot
is.
of times. So for the people that cannot even come, maybe for like people outside Lagos, same thing technology. Some of them will want you to do a video call, show them, and yeah. So it's difficult. Like it's not very easy, but I'll still choose it.
You still
You
choose
still
it.
choose
Yes, still choose it.
Would you have started it on your own if you did not team up with your husband?
Okay, so I would have, but not on the scale with which it started.
Did you start big? Is that what you're saying?
I will not say I started small. Do you get? I won't say I started big, but I also not say I started small.
Sorry, one more question. Your husband, was he a 9 to 5
He
person?
was a banker.
He was a banker and he quit banking.
Yes, he quit banking. So we
Both of you quit at the same time.
Okay, not exactly at the same time. So what we did was, I quit first. Okay. So when I stopped working, so he would work because then his level was slightly, so he had time, right? So during the day, in the mornings, like he'll go to work and stuff. When he gets everything done, he'll be like, he'll have time to call me, and then we'll circle back to, okay, what have you done? What can we do? Okay, like he will give me that maybe 30 to 40 minutes from his work day, and then we'll do like a video. Okay, what do we need? What do we need? Okay, when are these things coming in? So it was that. So, and again, when the business was suffering, when I had quit my job, he was still working. So it was easy for him to pull funds from him. Do you get? So it was very easy to pull funds from where he was, from his own job. And then we were pushing. So
I think what you've just said now has even taken us to a different dimension that I want to quickly touch and come back. How has it been running a business with your spouse? Because I know that some people would say, we are two different people. I cannot run a business with my spouse. He does this thing in this type of way. I do my own things in this type of way. But recently we see people we consider power couples. They are doing it. While there are some people, they say, you know what? I don't even want to try it. But, just give us a glimpse of how your own experience has
to
been.
Be honest, when I don't even know how believable it will sound, but we are better business partners than even husband and wife. I feel like in business we don't fight. Like when it comes to the business,
Like you're on the same page.
we're on the same page. When it has to do with money, everybody is not packing face. Like, when you had, maybe because of the children, you put all quarrel small. You're like, oh, these children, this, we don't know. You're like, oh, leave me alone. Are you too? You be papa, leave me, I beg, I want rent. When it comes to that container, they never send the bill of. Hey, we are already. Do you understand? So
Pack this in the
yeah, we
website.
pack. So for me, running business with him is the easiest. Is easy.
Maybe because of the kind of person he is. There are some men, I believe there are some men that want to control everything.
Okay.
They are business partner.
You're correct.
But you see the money, leave it.
No,
It's in my name.
No,
Be
no,
sending
no.
the money.
And
to
also
me.
the fact that maybe two of you just have similar interests in that
have
kind of business.
similar interests. So it's way easy for business. In the aspect of business, very easy. And like you said, the kind of person he is, that's the truth. Because a lot of ego comes in, like for men, for most men.
Yes.
But fortunately, in my situation, so my husband is very exposed. He's schooled abroad. He left Nigeria when he was 14. So I think that exposure also helped him to understand that a woman is your
He's
partner.
not dragging anything.
Do you understand? You're not dragging anything.
And
So
also
for
to
us,
make it
it's
kind of
easier.
easier, right? Did you guys just assign roles to say, okay, so that you don't have those
In the
clashes?
beginning, no. So in the beginning, like I said, it was vibes and inshallah. And he was also still working in the bank. So I was doing most of the operations and all that. Then when we talk during the day, we'll make sure we talk on the phone, and then, but he was, because he's a banker, all the accounting. By the time I tell him, oh, no, look, he's like, okay, bring out all the receipts. He's already like, in the balance sheet, they do all those computers, Excel. So me, my own, So he was arranging everything. It was so easy. And me, I'm very like, I'm the one that would go then. I would source for goods because then we're still sourcing locally. I would so it was very easy. So that was how the rules assigned itself. Right? I think because of his background. I mean, I was coming from advertising. So then I was now in charge of boosting Instagram, Facebook, doing all those advertising. Because he didn't know, he doesn't know all those. What he knows is the typical, oh, let's calculate it. How much figure? When you minus this, you calculate a hair.
So he was handling the commercials.
Yes, he was handling that aspect. So for me, it was more like, oh, let's push, let's try and see if we can do content like that was, so it just aligned itself. So by the time he came out, it was already easier because, we had already set that tone for it. Yeah.
So I wanted to piggyback off what she said about, her being, the social media person. And it's because she works in advertising and that 9 to 5 experience, helped her.
Very key.
And there's a lot of things that people don't understand, that structure, if you work in corporate, it helps you with doing what you're doing when you're on your own, because you've learned structure, you've learned how to communicate, you know how to take and to set boundaries, so you're not exactly like being like, oh, every customer is my customer. You learn how to make sure that people understand what you're doing. So I'd say that, a bit of 9 to 5 is actually good.
Yeah.
When you're actually doing what.
Okay, so I wanted to ask Nancy, because I know you. I know that social media, it's not your thing. How have you been doing? Because we know that Irene is out there. How do you promote your business?
I was asking her this.
How do you do it?
Like they said, you have to be shameless. Learning how to be shameless.
That's on social media.
And let me say, Linda, we like this because I don't know how people, Irene, I don't know how you do it.
So I think what I've done is I've found my space, and storytelling is where I'm good at. So I can't dance to save my life. Like, I'm a good chair dancer. I can dance, when it comes to that. But
okay, so you're even comfortable in front of a camera. As comfortable doing something.
Yes.
There are people that I don't even want camera. I don't want anything.
If you can, then you hire someone to do it. Because in this social media age, like you said, social media helped our business. You just have to, because if the bills come knocking,
when somebody's family is depending on
That's
you.
I know. Because again, like you just said something, when someone's family or when someone's life depends. Exactly. So I mean, we've all had those experiences where I'm not sure we had so much of that experience where salaries were being owed, So because you had that experience, you also don't want to be that person, that would owe. Yeah. So you would do any and everything to ensure that even when it comes to dancing, when it comes to waking up, if it comes to thinking, it comes to doing everything. And I know, I had asked the question because about what your challenges were, because it could be anything. It could be operation, it could be the marketing bits, it could be the bookkeeping bits, it could be, any initial challenge. But the beauty of it all is just getting started as an entrepreneur. If that's what you want to do, get started. And while you're at it, you figure it out. You figure it out.
You would
never know. And there was something that we came across, and I think I sent it to you, about one lady complaining about customer care service, right? And she said, you don't have a business starting a business if you've never worked in 9 to 5 to understand customer service.
Yes,
right? Because I see a lot of, especially all these ready-to-wear people. I'm sorry.
Nancy Ume.
Yeah, she also did a video about that. Especially from a ready-to-wear brand, I think.
Exactly.
Where you promise to deliver something, you're unable to deliver, and you just don't think you should be proactive with your communication. You don't think you should be respectful in your communication. You don't think that this person that had already paid you or stuff, the person already has where the person was, I think was her husband's clothes or something. She said she had already paid for, and it was just completely messy. And she was like, do you just graduate from school and just think you can run a business? My friend, will you go back to 9 to 5?
That she had ordered for something, right? And when am I going to, she kept on saying, when am I going to get it? No response. They eventually sent this, she received her order, and when she said again, you didn't respond to any of my, do you know what the person said? did you get your order or not?
Oh.
And I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know if I believe that story, but
No,
I'm
no,
sure
it happens.
It can happen.
Why?
It can happen.
Why are you like that?
So I think that now.
So sometimes
Mhm.
it's not even the owner of the business that responds to these things.
Yeah, so that's
But
where
as
training
a
your
business
staff
owner,
comes in.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That sometimes your staff, something you don't know what that person smoke, can't work, or what be a problem, and you know, do you understand? So I'm not saying
Making
I'm not
excuses.
making excuses, but a lot of times the people that respond like that is usually not the owner of the business.
God, they're bad.
Like,
But unfortunately, because they always have to be the ones to take the fall for it, you have to somewhat ensure. So it's just like how
So
you can
in some situations, you end up now seeing the owner of the business coming back to say, "I'm so sorry for the
No,
way
Irene, you know where I disagree because sometimes it escalates to a point, and I'm like, where were you?
Why did you allow it
get
get
to that point?
So
So
then
after
escalate it to you.
no, so that is where you as a
Sometimes they
business
will not
owner
escalate.
comes
So for
into
example, you get like
monitoring.
500 DMs.
No, Irene.
For example,
so,
I'm just
so
saying.
even if you have somebody handling your page, right? I'm sure you can. You can have your, how do they say it, on two phones. So
No, yeah,
at the end
you
of
can
the
monitor
day, you
or
can monitor.
monitor.
You
It
see, you go through
depends
it.
Or you don't get
sometimes
daily reports.
you do. Sometimes you can miss some. So most times you just find business owners going back to say, "I'm so sorry.
So one of the
Please
things
forgive
that
us."
as
A
business
lot of
owners-
times, because I know I've ordered some things and then this sort of things happen. And then later on, maybe in the evening or the next day, it's just somebody coming to say, "We're very sorry, please. We apologize for the way we handled this situation." And you're like, "Okay, it's fine." For me, as long as what I ordered is what I got, I
You just let it go.
yeah. So
So what I wanted to say was, as should I say, the owners of businesses, there's this tendency of not wanting to fire, and this let
That's
me
a big thing,
manage,
no?
let me manage. So, and I think that before it got to the point where the person responds rudely to whoever it is that is on the other side of the call, there are some small things that you would have noticed, but because you think of all the hiring process, like, do I have to go through this all over again? Let me just try and manage this process. And I think that's something that us, we have to ensure. And if you can't fire by yourself, get an external, just outsource it. And I know that it's even if it's not paid, just get your friend. Okay, I beg, come to HR for me.
Sure.
Fire, so that's something that I think that we should learn.
Yes. Thank you so much for such insightful conversations. I think for me, strongly, what just came off, from Irene and Nancy's experience is you cannot underestimate the role 9 to 5 plays in starting your business. When again Nancy said it was a gap she saw in the industry that made her start hers. For Irene, it was the previous experience she got when in where she worked regards marketing, bookkeeping, using the media very well, and so I think for us as well, when we started our own, would I call it 9 to, okay, no, when we started our own business, it was our shared experience from our 9 to 5 that made us see a gap in the industry. And so we started off this agency that caters to the marketing needs of impact-driven businesses, people that are up for doing good, and they just don't know how to structure that through storytelling, through partnerships, through branding, and all of that. We do all of that, and so it's also from our own experience working 9 to 5.
Can I also say, well done, guys?
Thank you.
And say,
From our colleagues, that means so much. Because the funny thing is, you find out that you branch out and you're doing so well, and you see your colleagues doing well, but you guys don't really have the time to meet and encourage each other and appreciate each other. No, we have to. We have to. We have to. We have to.
We say, okay, you guys hang
We
out.
do. Yes.
okay, well, so
Thank you.
it takes a lot to do this, to put this together.
All right,
I
thank
don't just
you.
live here without
We see
saying
all your
that.
comments. We see all your likes. We see everything you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And yeah, that's it for today on the group chats. I hope you took out one or two things, you enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll get those feedback in the comments.
You guys comment or
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, so please, all your business partners, tell them, all of them.
Repost, reshare.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes.
before we go, we have a little something for you, Nancy and Irene.
I like freebies.
Yes, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you, Nancy. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate.
Appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
And shout out to La Poche Hair
La
for these beauties you see we have on. Thank you, La
Thank you,
Poche.
La Poche.
Thank
If you
you.
need good, premium, authentic
La
hair,
Poche.
La Poche
La
on
Poche.
IG, La Poche Hair
La Poche Hair
on
IG.
Instagram is
Yes,
your plug.
Is your plug.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys. See
everyone.
you on the next episode.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.